Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to see together one of the most important topics in academic writing. How we can cite information or ideas that we take from other sources. We have four common ways that you can use to take ideas or information from other sources in your academic writing. Either you are writing an essay or you are writing a project or a research paper. The first common way is to quote it directly, which we call it direct quotation. The second way is paraphrasing. The third one is summarizing. And the last one is synthesizing. Today, in this short session, inshallah, we will try to identify the first common way in taking ideas and information from other sources, which is direct quotation. First, what does it mean quoting? We say direct quotation. What's quotation? To quote, it means to copy the exact words of the original text. So you are going actually to make a kind of copy and paste. You are going to copy some words from a specific source and paste it in your writing. So copy the exact words of the original text as they are. This is what we call quoting. And in this case, my lovely students, you must use quotation marks and you must refer to the author's name and the year of publication and also the page name. The ideas or information, you may take it from a book, from an article, from encyclopedia, from whatever source. Is it necessary to quote in academic writing? Yes, it's necessary. Usually, you use direct quotes in your writing because you want to improve your work. Because when you use direct quotes in your writing, you try to show evidence of your research. You try to show evidence of the ideas. And this is actually help you in the process of assessment. Direct quotes, direct quotations are very useful, especially when you are trying to define or describe specific concepts. It's better in this case to quote it directly. But paraphrasing, summarizing for any piece of information from other sources, they show actually that you understand the content and the general idea, but you express it in your own words. So you would try to summarize in most of your work, but also you use direct quotes when you think that direct quotation will have a strong impact. But you need to make it clear that you understand the quote you are citing, you are copying in your academic writing. You should explain it. You should explain it, not only to copy and paste. No, you need actually to show your reader that you understand what piece of information you have quoted. So there are various reasons to use direct quotations in academic writing. First reason, my lovely students, using quotes properly, correctly, will support your points that you are discussing in your academic writing. And these quotes will improve actually your academic writing because they will be a point of strength in your academic writing. So when you are using quotes, please, my lovely students, try to use quotes that back up your argument, that support your argument, rather than the quotes that you find it looks good, or you find it looks good or sounds impressive. You need to make sure that you understand what the quote is saying in its context. And again, I want to remind you, you need to explain its meaning in your work. because my lovely students using quotes out of context or misinterpreting them will affect passively your academic writing. Let's have a look at the way we can use direct quotations. First of all, don't forget, you need to use quotation marks at the beginning and at the end of the quote. So this is a must. This is one of the most important rules when you are using direct quotations. You have to use quotation. That is why it's called direct quotations. You have to use quotation marks at the start and at the end of the quote. You use also in the direct quotation the exact words from the original text. Don't use your own words, no. Just use the exact words as they are, because direct quotation is copy and paste. But to avoid plagiarism, you have to use them between quotation marks. You refer to the author, the year, and the page number. And don't forget that when you use quotes, you must set these quotes logically in your academic writing. Because when you set these quotes logically in your writing will make sense. And don't forget, my lovely students, to consider commenting on the quotation. How you comment on the quotations that you have used in your academic writing? You comment on the quotation by discussing its meaning, by adding more information to it if you need to. We have two types of quotation, short quotes and long quotes, or short quotation and long quotations. For the short quotations, you have to include less than 3 lines in your main text. Short quotations usually less than 3 lines. And when you quote 1 line and a half, 2 lines, 2 lines and a half, you have to use the quotation marks to separate the quote from your own writing. Look at this example. Furthermore, this is your writing. The quote hasn't started yet. The quote starts with the word not only the vocabulary of a language that determines how and what we think and perceive, but also grammar. Grammar is the last word in the quote. So at the start of the quote, you use a comma before not only. And at the end of the quote, after the word grammar, you use another comma. So you open the direct quotation marks and then you close the direct quotation marks. Don't forget that it's highly important. And you copy the exact words as they are. Don't use your own words. After that, you refer to the author, like here, the author is Gross. You refer to the year, 1996, and you refer to the page number. Page number, you write just P for page number 317. So again, please, for the short quotes, which you usually use in your academic writing, or in your MA research, inshallah, in the future, or your PhD thesis in the future, when you are using short quotes, please don't forget to use quotation marks at the start and at the end. What short quotes are? Short quotes are less than 3 lines. Okay, more than 3 lines are not considered short quotes. So what they are considered long quotes or longer quotations. Longer quotations, which is usually 3 lines and more, you separate the direct quotation that are more than 3 lines from your text. So this time, the quotation will not be actually included in your writing. No, there should be separation between the quote and your text. How you make this separation? You leave a line space above and below the quote. This is point. So the first point is to leave line space above the quote and under the quote. The second point, you indent it Indented means you leave space. You leave space from the left. 1 inch, 1.5 inches, as you like. Usually we use 1.5 inches, but no problem, as you like. So don't forget the first point, you have to, if your quotation is longer than 3 lines, or it's 3 lines or more, you separate your direct quotation in this case from your text. How you separate it from your text? By leaving line space. You leave line space before and line space below the quote. The second point, you indent. What does it mean you indent? Indent means you leave space from the left margin. 1 inch, 1.5 inches. What about the quotes which you are going to separate? The longer quotes which you are going to separate. What about the line space of this quote? It should be single line space. Single line space. So it will be unlike the rest of your text, because the rest of your text should be double or 1.5 line space. So the quote for spacing, it will be different. Your text, the space of your text is 1.5 or 2, double. But for your longer quotation, the space will be just a single line. So what about the quotation marks? We are not going to use quotation marks. Quotation marks, Shabab, students, quotation marks are only used with short quotations, which are less than 3 lines. 3 lines or more? No. 3 lines or more, we use indentation. You indent the quotes. So, and also you separate it from your text by leaving a line space above and below. So there is no need actually to use quotation marks. Look at this example here, writing about Hopi, a Native American language. Gross writes, and then he is going to quote some speeches, some writing, some words of Gross. In the Hopi language, no distinction is made between the past, present, and future. It's a timeless language compared with English, although it does recognize duration. For example, how long an event lasts. In European languages, time is treated as an objective entity. And as the short quotation, I refer to the writer, Gross, I refer to the year, I cite the year, 1996, I cite the page number, page 317. If you look at the long quotation here, you will find that it's indented about 0.5. It's up to you to indent it 1.51 inch or half inch, but you have to indent it. And don't forget to leave a space before and below the quote. So this was short explanation of the first way of taking ideas and information from other sources, which we call it direct quotation. We remind you that direct quotation includes short and long quotation. Thank you very much. Hope you have enjoyed our video. Assalamu alaikum.